Governor Ron DeSantis went to Miami Beach this past week, signing a new bill into law that will, supporters say, clear streets and parks of the homeless, and that opponents say will only make their plight worse without state funding to find solutions in our communities. Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders with details.
All right, there it is. With a stroke of the pen and a smash of a plate.
1, 2, 3. Open!
Florida has a new way to target homelessness, HB 1365, which the governor touted in Miami Beach Wednesday.
You should not be accosted by a homeless like we see. You should be able to walk down the street and live your life. We're going to have clean sidewalks. We're going to have clean parks. We're going to have safe streets.
Starting in October, the law prohibits sleeping and camping in public areas like parks, sidewalks, and more.
Police Department, anyone back here?
Instead, cities and counties encouraged to create designated camping areas away from businesses and neighborhoods. They'd need state approval with bathrooms, running water, security, and mental health services. And starting in January of next year, residents and the Attorney General can sue a local government if it doesn't cure any violations within 5 days. Supporters say unhoused will have better access to help, while public spaces will literally be cleaner.
The last thing we need in Florida is a poop map like what happened in San Francisco.
But pushback has been fierce. Critics suggest local governments will need to create harsher penalties for unhoused to ensure compliance. They also think the idea is cruel and a costly way to deal with a common problem.
Many of them are homeless not by choice. We heard from one of our fellow senators that she, for a short period of time, had to live in her car. People don't want to be homeless.
The latest federal data show homelessness is a mixed bag in the Sunshine State. It grew from 2022 to 23, but is down 36% from 2007. In terms of just population, Florida sits in a distant second behind the nation's leader, California. Could this new law change things? Well, time will tell. At the Capitol, Forrest Saunders, WPTV News Channel 5.
And here is what longtime Palm Beach County homeless advocate Frankie Pierre-Paul had to say. Your reaction to this new law?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's basically criminalizing homelessness, but trying to put a Band-Aid over what's going on. Homelessness is not declining, it's increasing. So I believe that there should have been things set in place before we had, okay, let's do a bill and let's criminalize homelessness because this is not happening. There's nothing set in place, and we only have a couple of months. October 1st is right around the corner. We have people that we actually work with, a 9-to-5 job, that don't have access to resources because once they get out of work, everything's closed. So what about those people?
Joined now by our longtime News Channel 5 political analyst, Brian Crowley. Frankie Pierre-Paul referring to the fact that many people who are homeless at night are trying to hold down and are holding down jobs in the daytime. As a longtime state political reporter working out of Tallahassee and beyond, new laws, no funding. We've seen it before. Your thoughts overall?
Well, homelessness is an extremely complicated issue. I think the law may not go far enough in helping local governments deal with this idea of forcing people to leave the parks and the streets. I don't even know what they mean where you have to move them someplace away from businesses and neighborhoods. Where in West Palm Beach, for example, is a place away from businesses and neighborhoods? So would the local communities be breaking the law by not finding a place far enough away from businesses and neighborhoods? Allowing local residents to sue the local governments if they don't feel like they're complying, not providing any state funding. It's a very complicated issue. Homeless people are not evil people. Many of them have mental illness. Many of them have drug addiction. Many of them are just unable to afford to pay the rent. It's a complicated issue, and I don't begrudge the state for trying to tackle it, but at the same, and some of the aspects of what they are requiring local governments to provide for the homeless sound very good and reasonable, but they may be asking them to do it too fast because October's coming really quick.
To be continued, Brian, I want to talk about the Florida GOP presidential preference primary, and of course the Democratic primary wasn't because the state party, the Democrats, awarded all the delegates to Biden, said really no primary to see here. Look to November for us. Donald Trump and President Biden.
Wow, Kevin Wagner and I were talking about that earlier, and he was asking me my prediction. I said, I have never ever predicted an election. I sure as can't predict one now. It's, there's one theory that says that because Donald Trump lost so many Republican votes in Florida, it's a sign that that those Republicans may switch to the Democratic side or sit out the vote altogether. Of course, more than likely, it won't matter what Republicans in Florida do, since unlike Kevin Wagner, leaning
I
red.
wish people at home could have seen the outtakes because you are good buds.
Sorry, Kevin. We joke about this. We're strongly red, and we have been for decades.
You see nothing really. Isadora Rangel, our colleague, Miami Herald editorial board, sides with you on this one. She said, listen, not sure the Dems are going to spend a lot of money here, though. You see articles where they're saying, well, maybe we'll try and keep it in play.
Look, I think some of the most interesting things in the polling done by FAU, where Kevin Wagner's a professor, is their recent polling shows that younger voters are leaning more and more Republican. The Hispanic voters are overwhelmingly starting to move more and more Republican. And I'm talking about those groups of Hispanic voters who had been traditionally Democratic. There's a real shift going away from the Democratic Party now, and the Democratic Party and the Biden campaign needs to do a far, far, far better job of messaging. And so far, they're not doing a very good job. And when you consider the kind of candidate they're running against with Donald Trump, who one would say might have some baggage that he's bringing to the election, and the Biden's campaign still seems to be stumbling.
Marco Rubio, name popping up there as one of a cast of perhaps many who may be getting vice presidential consideration. Of course, we're reading a lot of tea leaves here. It's a long time till the conventions. But thoughts about Marco Rubio and Donald Trump? They were at odds. That would be a nice way of putting it in 2016. Seems like an interesting match. I know there's some constitutional issues about two people from the same state running. But aside from that, what is your thought about that? His name being floated. You're never speechless.
Marco Rubio, who so strongly condemned Donald Trump in 2016, said, why would you vote for a con artist? And absolutely trashed Donald Trump, is now drinking the Trump water. And, unfortunately, that's sort of classic Marco Rubio. He can talk a good game about some things, but when push comes to shove, he's just right there along the party line of whatever Donald Trump wants. And like you said, Donald Trump, he probably has the name of his maitre d' at Mar-a-Lago on his list of potential running mates. So, I don't take too much into Marco Rubio's name being on the list.
Brian, top of mind thoughts for you, my friend. So much going on politically. People are always asking, I'm sure they're asking you how to help them kind of navigate wherever their political view may be, where we are and where we're headed this year and on to November. What are some final top of mind thoughts in this segment?
Well, watching what Marjorie Taylor Greene did on Friday, where she made the motion to vacate Mike Johnson, and now his speakership is in jeopardy. I'm going back to the voters like I often do. Is this what you want Congress to be about? Are these the kind of people? She lost, okay, on the budget
spending
issue.
Bill. Yeah.
She was one of a small group of people who lost. Democracy is they debate, they vote, and they move on. This kind of nonsense where a handful of people in the back of the room can disrupt everything and toss out a speaker, whether it's Republican or Democrat. Voters need to say, enough. Let's get back to what democracy is about. Debate, vote, move forward.
Enough seems to be a line that's moved a mighty long ways.
Yeah, they need to learn how to compromise again. And both sides have problems, don't get me wrong, but this has got to stop.
All right, well, we got to get you and Dr. Wagner, who are good buds. It's always interesting. Two very intelligent, thoughtful folks, but always between the lines on what's going on. It was an interesting FAU poll, as you said. And as always, appreciate your perspective, my friend. I know you've been a little under the weather. Good to see you back in fine fettle here. We'll have closing comments from Brian coming up in just a moment.